Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Watch What They Do YouTube channel, LennieRobbins YouTube channel. Know your politics. Let's come together to create a better understanding for each other by watching and listening to what our politicians do and say. Again, I am going to start where I left off on my last video because the political rhetoric and the political cuss and Cherigo Brinkham and the sensationalization of a lot of stuff that is only done to capture people's attention and to blow up some false information or create some figment of an imagination a person's mind continues to get worse. And I say this, that if Mark Golan can't reach out to the Prime Minister doesn't reach out to the leader of the opposition, and you two guys who are the head of your political parties allow this stupidity, this sickness, the sickening, disrespectful, derogatory way, the very people you choose to support or vote for are the very people you promise to govern on their behalf are speaking. When I hear the language coming out of people's mouth, and you two leaders not doing anything to ethically stem that, it tells me exactly where we are politically as people, where we are. And I've been saying it for years that we are heading into the gutter. We are actually in the gutter with our politics. And not only the politics is in the gutter, we ourselves are there because we are the one taking it to the gutter. And I'm calling up on Mark Golan, I'm calling up on Andrew Willis, I'm calling Andrew Willis, I'm calling on Mark Golan. However you guys want to reach across there, I do first want to reach out. Please, reach out. Reach out. Come up with some ethical thing. People are going to talk about freedom of speech. But are you free to tell the Prime Minister to go what and whatever with his mother, and you don't have evidence to support what you're accusing the Prime Minister of? You're free to do it. So if you're free to do it, why am I not free to do it to you just the same? And if we follow that golden rule, whatever you do to me, I do to you, what's going to happen here, brother? As it goes, an eye for an eye, and in no time at all, the whole country, Jamaica, will be blind. Whole country will be blind. When we get to that stage, we don't need a man with both eyes to lead us. Even a one-eyed man will become king in Jamaica if we get to that stage. I'm calling for that because it also, I'm repeating that. It's not calling for it because I've said it many, many times. So, and as I've said before, repetition is one of the main cornerstone of our learning process, especially as some of us project ourselves to be lifelong learners. Repetition is one of the cornerstone of the learning process. I don't want to go back down to that because I've said it in a last video that I put out there. But what I want to get into is something that I'm not hearing coming from just about no one. I'm listening to all the major people, bloggers on YouTube, people who are speaking about politics, defending the Prime Minister and his action, defending Mark Golan and his action, speaking out against Prime Minister, speaking about the opposition leader and his party. And in all of that, I've never heard the question asked, what type of leader is Andrew Willis? I've never heard anyone try to define it. I come close to it. What type of leader is Mark Golan? I've been contemplating this question for quite some time. But what drives me here today is the recent demonstration against the present government. And a demonstration, Mr. Andrew Holness, whether you're right or wrong, is saying something. There's something in it that people are not comfortable with, and there's something in it that propels people to take to the street against the government. The government is failing to not do something, and you got to get your administration together and sit down and wonder, get a retreat somewhere, sir, and wonder what the hell you guys are doing wrong. Because you're in the power, you're in the seat, you're in power. People are demonstrating for you to resign, but I know the government is not going to resign, because that would be too much of a, that would be too detrimental to the Jamaica Labour Party. Because if you resign now, I can tell you, you won't be seeing back that government office and for the next 25 years. Gonna be PNP all the way for the next 25 years. So, you're the government in place, sir, and you have to get your team together and find out why people, what are you not doing? Why are the nation rising up? And the more people demonstrate and the more people cry out, is the more you hear these cry, the more people are going to join the cry. More people, and even your own supporters, in the long run will join the cry. Will join the cry. Now, coupled with what I just mentioned that I hear no one talking about a lot, and also this demonstration that took place recently. I don't know if it's a PAP orchestrated or organized demonstration and other non-GOs join and independent people. I don't know who organized it, but that is not the important thing here. The important thing is that people are crying out against the government, Mr. Holness. And there's something the government is doing which is they're not doing. And you're doing something that is pushing people to rebel. Because when Jamaicans get to the point where they take to the street, then they know they have no other option than to go to the street. That's Jamaicans' attitude. As a result of that, I decided to take a look at doing some research in the role of leadership, style in the administration of government. I decided to do a quick little bit of research in the role of leadership style in government administration. Because a lot of us are talking and we have no idea who Andrew Holness is as a leader. Who is he as a leader? Who is Mark Golden as a leader? And as it relates to Mark Golden, he's now under more influence than Andrew Holness as a leader. The leader he is in the opposition by what? The leader he is in the opposition. Should Mark Golden become the Prime Minister at the next election, will he be the same leader that we saw in the opposition? Or will the weight of the office influence his leadership style? What outside influence will come to bear upon him that he becomes someone else from whom we saw as an opposition leader? These are questions we need to know in ourselves, but we are not interested in that because we were not brainwashed in that direction. So let me just share, like I said, I did a research on the role of leadership style in the administration of government. There were a couple of leadership styles that I saw. But I took just took note of 4, and I'd like to go through them as quickly as possible. 1, transformational leadership. I want you to, if you get this far in this video, and please, if you have not yet subscribed, I'm asking you to subscribe to the channel. We cannot grow it without you. Leave a like, and share this with your friends. Share it across the board on all of your platforms. And wherever you get your podcasts, you can go to watch what they do at LennieRobbins92. It's podcasting there. And I'm looking forward to your comment and the continued support of our already established subscribers. Now, transformational leadership is the first one that I looked at. And it says, the studies have shown that this type of leadership to be the most effective style for organizational improvement, effectiveness, and employee satisfaction in government organizations. Transformational leadership is the most effective style from studies carried out for government or in government organization. It also encourages vision, innovation, and organizational change while supporting organizational culture, employee motivation, job satisfaction, and organizational effectiveness. The second one is transactional leadership. This type of leadership focuses on clear roles, rewards, and performance metrics. It can also improve task performance and operational efficiency, but may not inspire long-term usage if and when this type of leadership is overused. Now, all of this leadership relates to governmental organization or governance, government, public sector. Now, I'm saying this because for those who are watching this video, I'm going to ask you to leave a comment in the column. What type of leadership you think our Prime Minister and our leader of opposition is? You can just drop a number, 1, 2, 3, or 4. I think it's for the leader of opposition is 4, the leader of opposition is 3, or whatever the Prime Minister is 1, or whatever number you think. Number 3, a charismatic leader. Charismatic leader. I'm having a bit of tongue tie here. I'm biting my tongue somewhat. He's a charismatic leader. I've heard the term mentioned many times about Michael Manley being a charismatic leader. He's a very charismatic leader, many times. Now let me read what is charismatic leadership. This leadership style builds morale and inspire commitment through personal influence and vision. That is absolutely tantamount to understanding who Michael Manley was. This leadership style builds morale and inspire commitment through personal influence and vision. Allow you to dream and see what you can do for yourself, how you need to build yourself. That was Michael Manley. However, its impact can be inconsistent without structural support. However, its impact can be inconsistent without structural support. And I repeat that because that gives me a clear idea, also a better understanding, or a clearer pathway to understanding why Michael Manley principles failed. Because as I said, the governor, the leader you are in opposition is not the leader you become when you're in that seat. There are other influences. There are influences from all directions that comes to bear on decisions that you make, or the leadership style you displayed. So Michael Manley was displaying this type of leadership during his time. And this leadership can become inconsistent without structural support. And his kind of leadership was pretty new to a lot of members of the People's National Party at the time. So they were not there to adapt to the leadership style of their leader. They were not there to embrace the leadership style of their leader. So he didn't have that structural support around him as he should. Because I do believe if they had it around him then, it would be a bigger civil war to get the PNP out of power. Jamaica would have its first civil war to remove the PNP out of power. And for those of you who don't understand, between the 70s and the 90s, just Google it. See how many people lost their lives in Jamaica through politics. That is for the charismatic leader, which is number 3. Number 4 is the servant leadership. This type of leadership prioritizes employee well-being and empowerment. The result from this can be mixed or sometimes mixed depending on the context or the situation in which this type of leadership is used or displayed. However, it can also serve to strengthen trust and engagement when aligned with government goals, the servant leadership. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to ask you, going through the video, when you go through the video, just to remember, remind yourself, because we need to understand, have a clear understanding of the leader that sits at top of the country that we live in. We need to have an understanding what kind of leadership skills this person has, what kind of leadership this person is or will become, how leadership changes people over time. That's something else I'm going to look at, because PJ Patterson 19 years or something is something I'm going to look at with PJ Patterson, because that's a good example to analyze how his leadership style changes throughout his tenure as the Prime Minister of Jamaica. We want to understand these things because it's important, as I said, to understand how the leader that we have ahead of our government. It is important for us to understand it, both leader and Prime Minister Andrew Willis, and what is coming from our opposition leader Mark Golan. Because what I see happening on the street, ladies, if we are Jamaicans and are tired and sick, peace-loving Jamaicans, we're just asking for a safe, quiet Jamaica. A Jamaica in which we one and all can enjoy a certain quality of life. A Jamaican life, a Jamaica in which we don't have to swear and curse each other for no reason at all. A Jamaica in which we don't have to take each other's life for no reason at all because of our politics. As a Jamaican, I should be able to stand up freely and discuss with my PNP friend and my JLP friend and criticize their political party. And we should walk away quite comfortably, feeling good. Tomorrow morning we see each other, we're still friends, still my neighbor. A Jamaica in which our leaders and our political parties are transparent and honest with us, respect us as a people. They are our employees. We are their boss. We employ them. They didn't employ us. We need a Jamaica, and a Jamaica for all Jamaicans, not for the PNP Jamaicans or the JLP Jamaicans. It is up to us to come together. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, let me make this appeal to you. If you get this far in the video, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and give us an answer. I've stated 4 different types of leadership style. Leadership style in government. So, Tell us who you think Prime Minister is, and who you think Margolin is and will be. He may be a number 2 and may turn to a number 1, and maybe a number 2 turning into a number 4. Prime Minister is the number, whatever you want to give him, number 4, and he may turn into a number 3 eventually when he become leader in opposition. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Lenny Robbins YouTube channel. Know your politics. Let's come together to create a better understanding for one and all. None of us can do it alone. None of us know this alone by ourselves. I've been making this appeal for years now. It is important for us to watch what our politicians do and what they say. We have to take close note of it. It is our existence that is challenged. We the people suffer, not the politicians. Not the politicians. And let us not kid ourselves, Margolin. You could demonstrate all you want, sir. The PNP need to be more than a vibrant party. It needs to be a viable one, where people can successfully look at it and say, yes, I will choose the JLP over the PNP or the PNP over the JLP. What is happening, sir? Don't dance behind your supporters alone. There are thousands of independent people out there who wants to vote. But the dog fight that is going on will not attract us. It's not going to attract them. The dog fight is not going to attract the independents, Mr. Golden and Mr. Andrew Holness. You guys need to get it correct. Takes nothing to call a committee together and hash out some ethical standard of conduct going forward. At one point, that has to be done during the election between Edward Seaga and Michael Manley during their era. And if we all forget that, you can talk all you want to talk about the Prime Minister or the leader of opposition, but you can't say certain things. You cannot tell the man what to go do with his mother because you think he's corrupt or you hear everybody say he's corrupt. Where's your evidence? That's not the way things work. We want a civil Jamaica. I've said it before. Jamaica needs a civil awakening. We need a civil awakening. Ladies and gentlemen, Lenny Robbins YouTube channel. Welcome once again to the channel. Know your politics. Let's come together to create a better understanding for each other by watching and listening to what our politicians say. It is important for us to do that. If not, we have no hope of recovering our dignity. From 1962, they take from us the one right we would have, the right to determine the type of leadership we want ahead to head up our government. That was taken away from us. Blessed love to all Jamaicans. Leave a comment, please subscribe, and help us to grow this channel. Share it as you go along and help us to really, really grow this channel. We're depending on you. Thank you very much. Blessed love to all Jamaicans. Over and out.